So this is lesson number 76 in Algebra 1 called consecutive integers. We use consecutive integers pretty regularly when it comes to story problems, so it's good to know what they are and how they're going to fit into story problems. Alright, a consecutive number or consecutive integer is one number that follows another. Like the next consecutive integer is 4, the next one's 5, the next one's 6, etc., etc., etc. So, let's say that we're doing a story problem and I say we have two consecutive integers. Well, I don't know what those consecutive integers are, so I'm going to call one of them x. We're not going to call the other one y. We're going to relate it to the x. So let's say that we have a number 3. What's the next number? 4. But if I were to relate it to this 3, how would I get to 4? I would say 3 plus 1 is 4. So the first number is 3. Second number would be 3 plus 1, right? The next one would be 3 plus 2, 3 plus 3, 3 plus 4, etc. And this would give me 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So instead of writing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I could write 3, 3 plus 1, 3 plus 2, 3 plus 3, 3 plus 4. And that's the same, and I know, it seems like, what? Why are you doing that? Well, there's a reason for it, because when we're dealing with numbers, and I say we have two numbers that are consecutive, but I don't tell you what the numbers are like I did here. So you call one x, the next consecutive integer is x plus 1, whatever x is plus 1. The next one would be whatever x is plus 2, or whatever x is plus 3, etc. These are all consecutive integers. There's just one bigger, two bigger, three bigger. Okay, so that's how you would write a consecutive integer. When we're doing story problems and we're dealing with numbers, though, instead of using the x, oftentimes we use an n for number. So if I have three consecutive integers, one of them's n, one of them is n plus 1, one of them is n plus 2. Okay, so those are my three consecutive integers. Alright, so in our story problem that we're going to look at, which is example 76.2, it says find three consecutive integers. So our three consecutive integers will be n plus 1, n plus 2. I think Joe has a TV up too loud. Alright, so find three consecutive integers such that twice the sum of the first two is 2 less than 3 times the third. Oh my goodness, that sounds really hard. Find three consecutive integers such that twice the sum of the first two. Okay, so here's the first two. So what we're going to do is says the sum. So that means we're going to add the first two together. And it says twice the sum of the first two. So we'll put a 2 there. So 2 times twice the sum of the first two. Okay, so there's that one. Then it says is. Is an equal sign. Is 2 less than 3 times the third. So 3 times the third. And what's it say? This group of numbers here, this answer is 2 less than this one. So if it's 2 less than that one, then if I were to add 2 to it, now they'd be equal. Because this one was 2 less, but if I add 2, now I make them equal. Alright, so let's see what we have here. We have 2, n plus 1, twice the sum of the first two. And I'm going to make them equal, so I add 2 because it was 2 less. So in order for it to be equal, I have to add 2. Holy smokes. Okay, so there's my equation. That's the hard part. Once you get all that done, then the rest of it isn't too bad. So let's start combining. N plus n is 2n. And let's distribute. Okay, let's distribute here. So I multiplied that times that to get that. And let's get some stuff together here. Let's move this over. So I have 1n plus 4 equals 6. Subtract 4. So we can get rid of that 1. So n equals 2. So, of my 3 consecutive integers, this is 2, this would be 2 plus 1, and this would be 2 plus 2. So there's my 3 consecutive integers there. Alright, let's keep going. Let's do one more example, and that'll be all you need in order to complete this lesson. Alright, it says in example 76.3, find 4 consecutive. So, there's my 4, such that 6 times the sum of the first and fourth. So, first and fourth, we're going to add those together, because it says 6 times the sum of the first and fourth is 26 less. So this answer here is 26 less than what we're going to get over here. So we want to make it equal. So if it's 26 less, we need to add 26 to it to make it equal. Then 10 times the third. Notice we didn't even use the second number. That's not even a part of it, but that's okay. We didn't even use that. Alright, so let's put all this together. 6 n plus 3 plus 26 equals 10 times n plus 2. Alright, so let's go ahead and combine. Distribute. Okay, distribute here. Add these two. Subtract 10n. Okay. And let's move this up. Subtract 44 from both sides, and I have negative 24. Divide by 2, divide by 2. N is negative 12. Alright, so that was my first number. Next one says n plus 1. We had what, 4 numbers? So negative 12 plus 1. Negative 12 plus 2. Negative 12 plus 3. Okay, we're going to move these over a little bit. Alright, so that equals negative 12. This equals negative 11. Negative 10. Negative 9. So there's my 4 numbers. Okay? So, just keep following this method as you do the homework for problem set 76, and you should be fine.